Hello guys and welcome back to the week in review series, a weekend in review series should we call it. This week going through all the Premier League action in depth and that Carabao Cup game. Alongside we're going to go talk about the Championship, which as I wanted to talk about last week, the Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A and Ligue 1, and then going into my team of the week as well, and then into my topic of the week, which this week will be who should be in that England squad, because it's been talked about a lot on who should be playing where. I'm just going to go in depth about everything to do with the England squad coming into the Euros this summer with the international break looming over our shoulder. It's been 2 weeks away to the next international break. Or 3 weeks, sorry, right now. Yeah, 3 weeks right now. So let's get into it. Starting with that Carabao Cup game that happened yesterday. What a game. Exciting, yeah, there was plenty of chances. I think Chelsea had the majority of the chances, the big chances I'd say, Gallagher hitting the post and stuff like that. Liverpool obviously had their chances too. It was a tight fought game, but I think I speak for everyone when I say we should ban Liverpool-Chelsea finals for a while now, because they ended 0-0. They keep it ending 0-0. Like I said, it was exciting. Yeah, there was a lot of drama in the game, but do you know what's really good about football is the goals. When goals are scored, that's a big part of the game. And with only one goal in this game, thankfully the game didn't end 1-0, but the 90th minute it was 0-0. I feel like the offside chances on both of them were both correct on VAR. That Endo infringement was a big infringement, and obviously Jackson was clearly offside with no issue there. I can't believe people are arguing that. I get arguing the Endo thing, but Endo clearly stopped a player from marking someone from an offside position. So yeah, as Gary Neville said, Chelsea, the £1 billion bottle jobs, and then Peter Drury tried being Shakespeare for a while after, and it just wasn't working out, was it, mate? You need to calm it down and cut it out, because it's boring. It's boring now. But yeah, the future does look bright for Liverpool. That's what you got to say. That, you know, there was a young team playing today. A lot of injuries that were happening in that Liverpool squad. A young team going into that extra time. Chelsea's squad was on paper miles better than Liverpool's team, but as you know, they say it's played on grass, not paper, and it's just the Poch effect again in a final, losing to Liverpool. He's used to it. On to the weekend though, on to the Premier League action. I'm going to start with my club, Manchester United, and a very, very, very disappointing time as United get beat 2-1 by Fulham. He will be looked really good all game, really, and he got that winner right at the last moment. And it's just, you know what, that goal, it's bad defending, but it's bad position from Onana again. It's the same way we conceded the goal in the 90th minute against Wolves when Neto scored. It's him trying to predict that they're going to try and go to the far side, step in, and then just getting done on his shot and not being able to dive to it. He doesn't move. He can't. Can he not dive when the ball's going to his near post? It's ridiculous, honestly. He doesn't know where he is, and it's a bit frustrating. But I'm not going to hate on it too much, because I'm fed up of it. I'm fed up of hearing all the hate on social media. It doesn't help players out. It really doesn't help players out. You know, you can comment on the way they've played, yeah, but you can't go on, oh, you're shit, because it just doesn't help at all in your club situation. So it's going to be a big summer turnaround anyway. After that result, you just know we're not going to get Champions League football, so it's going to be hard to bring in players. But we've got Dan Ashworth at the helm to try and bring in them key little players who can do the right job for the right price, which is perfect. It's what we need. On to the highest goal scoring game of the weekend, Villa versus Forest, ending 4-2. Plenty of goals, 6 goals in general. Forest looked good at parts, but Villa were just so dominant. Villa are going for that Champions League spot. Villa are going to be in the Champions League next year. They're not going to drop off now. It just looked so good. I couldn't really fault them, really. You know, conceded goals, yeah, but attacking, they're just so smooth in all their attacks. Fair play to Villa. Fighting on. Another team that's fighting on was Brighton, with a late equaliser from Lewis Dunk. But the goal that Branthwaite scored, Jesus Christ, what a goal that was. I saw on like the notification it was a Branthwaite goal, and I thought, oh, he's just got a header off a corner or something. I was a take and a half. He smashed it into the top bins. It was brilliant. And he's going in that we got later when I'm talking about the England squad. Palace versus Burnley ending 3-0. Franco looked really good. It's obviously Glasner's debut as a manager for Palace. 3-0 win. It was a good result. It's what he wanted. Trafford still looks so shaky. I mentioned him as my goalkeeper, the youth cup goalkeeper. I don't think he's going to make it as a youth goalkeeper. There's a lot of pressure put on him at a young age for a goalkeeper. I can't see him fighting through it. Trafford looks like he's going to be struggling for the rest of the season, I'm not going to lie. But on a positive side for Burnley, that Fofana, and Chelsea as well, to be fair, that Fofana looks really good. He honestly does. He looks, every time he's in the box, he feels like something's going to happen. So Burnley fans can enjoy that for the rest of the season before they go down next year, I guess. Bournemouth versus City, 1-0 to City. And I'd say City were very lucky to get that 1-0 result, but that's what City do. That's what City do best. Is that when it comes to this season, and they need to push and push and push, City can push and push and push and just grind out these results. They might not look pretty. Honestly, it ain't pretty. Watching City ain't pretty. I saw someone describe City as the risk nothing football from the Nike advert in 2014, and it honestly is. It honestly is. I hate watching City. So yeah, Bournemouth were unlucky in this game. They should have probably got an equaliser, but it's been on poor form all year, to be honest. So what can you say? Arsenal showing how good they are. People were going in this game going, "Oh, well, Newcastle might be able to push a result. They're looking better now." Arsenal went, "Just shut up talking. We're going to play nice football." That's what it's like. If City are the risk nothing, Arsenal right now are the risk everything team of just playing nice football and getting the results from it as well. 4-1 against Newcastle. It was a really nice game from Arsenal, and they just look so good right now. And I kind of hope for Arsenal's sake, even being a Man United fan, obviously they're against City and Liverpool, so I'm going to push them a bit more. I hope Arsenal do take it all the way. And I've been arguing with a lot of Arsenal fans on social media recently, but on a real, I do hope Arsenal take it all the way and beat City and Liverpool. They just look good, don't they? But they did have that Champions League slip, which it puts a bit of doubt in the minds, you know. Wolves versus Sheffield, quite a boring game to be fair. I thought Sheffield were the better team in this game, really. Wolves just looked a bit off, but they got the result, and that's what it's about. It's who wins. It's not who looks better, it's who wins. Obviously, it was a bit of a mismatch for Sheffield. There's a lot of talk of Sheffield. I thought McAtee looked good. They did miss a lot of chances, unfortunately for them. But the biggest highlight was their own players fighting, like Newcastle in 2010 or whatever it was, with Robinson fighting Vinny Souza. And Vinny Souza did look bad. I get where Robinson's coming from, because Vinny Souza looked terrible all game. Even like when he got injured, he almost cost him a goal because Gribic tried to kick out of play and Sarabia pounced on it and, you know, came to his senses and kicked it out. But yeah, going swiftly into my team of the week for the Premier League, and that would be Ederson in net. He had a clean sheet, and I think he had a decent game. Like I say, Bournemouth missed the chances, but Ederson saved some of them too. So yeah, Ederson goes in there. Two Liverpool players getting in the defence. I think Bradley had a decent game for how young he is, and it's on such a high level. Yeah, I think Bradley had to get to this team. And then Van Dijk, he scored the winner. He had a good game defensively, get the clean sheet. You couldn't fault his game really. So yeah, Van Dijk getting into the team of the week. Branthwaite as well, just for a goal. It's a mint goal and deserves to get into the team. Someone who stays from last week actually is at left back, and that is Kiwior, who got a goal this week. He got an assist last week, and he's playing at left back. He talks about all year about Zinchenko not being a guy. Kiwior is filling in that spot pretty well. It's going to be good to see him move into a more central role. I do think he is Gabriel's replacement when it comes to that. Luiz getting 2 goals, and 2 nicely taken goals as well. Havertz and Iwobi getting in there too. I think Iwobi obviously had a really good game against United, and he did score the winner at Old Trafford. He always can get in the team of the week like that. Havertz, goal and an assist again. He's found his form now. He did miss a big chance, but he made up for it. He got a goal, and then a third Arsenal player in there in Saka, who I just think is just on good form right now. Arsenal are rolling, and they're just rolling. I might be a bit biased because I want them to do well, but I don't want them. I want them to do well over the way City and Liverpool are doing well. Foden on the left wing. I know he played more centrally, but I needed to get him to this team somehow. He did score the winner. He's played on good form, like Saka. They're both just on really good form right now, so we get to the team. And up front, I know he played on the wing, but Ayew, scoring twice. He just looked good. No, it was goal and assist. Sorry, get it right, Callum. On to the Championship talk, and it was a big result for Leeds as they beat Leicester 3-1 and closed that gap to 6 points. But it's not just 6 points for Leeds, it's 6 points for Ipswich too, and it's going to be a real close fight with 12 games left of that Championship season. They're going to put the push on Ipswich and Leeds. Ipswich did it really well last year, and they're going to do it well this year too, because they beat Birmingham 3-1 and continue to push. Hull, who I did praise recently, who was saying they looked good, dropped points actually to West Brom, but West Brom are also up there with them, so we kind of expected. But they did beat Southampton, who are still dropping points. They got beat again this week by Plymouth. Plymouth, who their away form started to take a turn. I know Southampton's one of the closer journeys, but it's good for them. They needed to get used to this style, and they have been struggling on away form for a while. But yeah, Plymouth doing well against Southampton there, and the Championship taking a bit of a exciting end to the season. Southampton aren't really in that title race anymore, but Leeds, Ipswich, Leicester, it's going to be exciting to see who wins it. On to the Bundesliga. Dortmund lose again. Where's the Sancho hype? Where's the Sancho hype gone? I'm wearing a Dortmund shirt right now, but guys, you want to hype up Sancho? There's loads of hype going around. Oh, United were holding him. What's he doing now? Losing still? That's fine. Yeah, it was yabbit. Gladbach 5-2 against Bochum. Bochum cannot continue that form that they beat Bayern last week. They can't continue that momentum. 5-2 by Gladbach. They gave it a fight, but Gladbach just went, no, we're not going to slip like this. Kane with a 90th minute winner though to put Bayern on a turn of form. He got 2 goals in a 2-1 win against Leipzig at 97th minute. Nice, it's crazy. And then Xhaka with I think you've all seen it on Instagram and stuff like that, on TikTok, his celebration of pretending to be injured in the 3rd minute. I think it was a cracking goal as well to continue Leverkusen's just run of form that is going to take him into the end of the year and probably see them get their first Bundesliga, which would be really interesting. But if you've not seen that Xhaka celebration, go check it out, it's definitely worth it. And the goal itself, to be fair. La Liga, Barca absolutely pummeled Getafe 4-0. Once again, I'm talking about Sancho hype over there. There's a lot of talk about Greenwood this week around Sir Jim Ratcliffe talking about his role in the club in the future and if he will ever have a role in the club in the future. And you're talking about Greenwood being on form, but you don't hear it when he's playing a big team like that. Girona have just continued to fall off. They lost the game last week. Obviously, they play tonight. We'll see if they continue to push it, but Real Madrid are 8 points clear right now. It is Madrid's title to lose. You always thought Girona would fall off, but the hype's got to their heads and they have fell off. League Earn, Paris, PSG drop points. They actually get saved in the 90th minute by Goncalo Ramos in a 1-1 draw at home to Rennes. Is a bit stinky from their part. Aubameyang still having fun. He's got 3 goals in the past week. Obviously one in the Europa League, and 2 in a 4-1 win against Montpellier. He's enjoying his time out in Marseille. He is. And then Brest continues to put that push, and whatever push they can put onto PSG. It's not going to really happen, is it? But for a Champions League spot, Brest, pretty cool with Kamara getting a hat trick. It's good to see. Serie A, Inter just flying for it. Inter are going to win the league. 4-0 win against Lech. Another big win for them, like they did last week. They're just flying ahead. They're just going, yeah, it's ours now. Juventus back off. But Juventus did try and fight it with a 95th minute winner from Regana, and it was close. And you know what? There's a lot of late minutes. I've already spoken about some late minute winners in the other leagues there, but Bastoni also got one again for Empoli against Sassuolo in the 94th minute. There's so many late winners this week. Obviously, not as late as Van Dijk's in the 118th minute, but there's a lot of late winners there. Atlanta and AC drawing with each other 1-1, dropping both points. It is just Inter. Inter are just running away with that Serie A title, and they are going to win the Serie A title. Into Europe, it was the Champions League last week and a bit of Europa League, and obviously the draw was done. 1-1 draw, PSV versus Dortmund. Dortmund trying points again. Well, not winning the games that you expect them to win. As I said, where's the Sancho hype? Yap it down. Inter Milan beating Atletico 1-0, and Narvich getting the winner. It was just a boring game, as you'd expect, but my Super 6 got ruined by it. Porto beating Arsenal. I did laugh because Arsenal fans still waiting for a Champions League win in the knockouts. It has been 14 years now. Hey, you might get it at the Emirates against Porto. We'll wait and see. Osimhen versus Lewandowski in that Napoli versus Barca game. Both got a goal, 1-1 draw, but I think Barca will take it back to the new camp and smash them. Napoli have been on bad form all year. In the Europa League, both were drawn, the groups were drawn. I'll be doing a video on that next week when the games start to happen, and we'll do my predictions for that next week. Freiburg had a really exciting game against Lens. It took them into added extra time. 3-2, they won the game. Galatasaray knocked out by Prague, who finished above Man United in the group. Bit frustrating that was. And then in the UEFA Europa Conference League, Ajax were taken to added extra time by Bodo Glimt. Because Bodo Glimt, you know what? Been seen recently in Europe, and they do kind of get far in Europe. You got to kind of give Bodo Glimt the dues where they deserved. That Norwegian team, who always kind of have a good end to the season. Right, that is the review of everything that's happened in the European football scene in the top 5 leagues in the past weekend. So let's get on to the topic of the week, and that is how should England line up? How should England line up? Who should England take? And are we going to get stuck into that same issue of putting square pegs in circle holes? Because you look at England's golden generation, people talk about England's golden generation all the time, on how it fell apart because we didn't know where to play Scholes and stuff like that, because we played Scholes in the left wing so we could get Beckham on the right, and we had all these good players and we wanted to get them all on the pitch at once. We called it the golden generation. I saw Scholes and Neville actually speaking about it, of how we call it the golden generation, but you got to look at Brazil's team at the time, and he had Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Ronaldo, and that's why we didn't win that World Cup. Or the France squad with Zidane and Henry and Vieira and stuff like that. England had a good team. Yeah, England had a really good team, but there was good teams out there as well, like there is now. So we push on into Euros, hopefully win it. But as I said, it is going to feel like putting square pegs in circle holes, because everyone's saying, "Oh, we need to get Bellingham in the team. We need to get Foden in the team. We need to get." Bellingham versus Foden is going to be the biggest debate, because right now Foden's loving life in that central role, replacing De Bruyne in the City team when it's needed. And Bellingham is doing it for Real Madrid without replacing anyone. He just is doing it for Real Madrid. He is the man right now. Bellingham is having a better season, so I'd probably put Bellingham in that role. But the question is do we then put Foden out wide because we want to get Foden in the team? He's playing so well. I personally would. Not down to putting Foden out on the wing because, just throw him out on the wing, needs to get him in the team. I think Foden is probably better out on the wing. He's close control dribbling. He just is suited to playing on that left side. And I think, Bellingham likes going onto the left side too, and they could link up really, really well. So that would be my argument, to have Foden and Bellingham in the same team. Obviously, some people might want to see Bellingham drop deeper in the team, but I really don't want to see that. If I'm getting any guys in the team, who's playing left wing? If Foden's not going to play there, Rashford's going to play there. Rashford's been awful so far this season, and I don't think it should take him, but we'll get into that in a second. Kobbie Mainoo. Should we take Kobbie Mainoo? There's a lot of talk going around about that recently, of should Kobbie Mainoo come into the squad? And I think, yeah, he should. Should he be starting in the 11? Maybe not. Maybe it's a bit too early for him to be starting in the England squad. Hopefully he gets called up at this next international break in the friendlies against Brazil and Belgium. The friendly against Brazil and Belgium are a really good test for someone like Mainoo to see if he can stack it at this highest level. And hopefully, I think he could. I think he really could. Playing against Belgium, I think, would be the best test for him against like your De Bruyne's and stuff like that. That'd be a cool test for Mainoo. And I want to see it. Obviously, going to see him playing a derby next week, and we'll review that next week. But yeah, I think Mainoo should get called up for the Euros this year. I think he's had a really good breakout season, and you shouldn't overlook age. If you're good enough, you're old enough. That's how it is. Talking about the defence, should we bring Trent? Trent's been injured a lot this season. Where would Trent play? Would he play in the midfield? I don't think he should play in the midfield. I think if we bring Trent, he needs to play him right back, and he can move up the pitch, can help move into midfield. But then, does that affect how John Stones is going to play? It just becomes these issues. That are these issues worth it? Are these issues going to leave us vulnerable from behind, especially with how Trent likes to play? It's going to cause issues with how Stones likes to play, who also likes to play on the right side. We'll go into that in a second. And then I said the big question, who should go? And that is exactly what we're about to get into right now. And who should go is a big headache for Mr. Southgate. So let's talk about it. Obviously, Jordan Pickford. I think John Pickford is the one of the first names on the team sheet. I think the first 3 names that he's going to put onto his list are going to be Jordan Pickford, Declan Rice, and Kane, because you know they're definitely playing where they're definitely playing. Kane's going to be up front, Rice is going to be in that holding midfield role, and Pickford's going to be in net. That is your 3 definites, right? And then you've got to add a few others to make that spine perfect. Obviously, I think John Stones gets in there in centre back, and then Bellingham as your advanced midfielder, let's call it, and that gives you a 5 spine really from Pickford to Kane. It gives you a spine of players that you can trust game in, game out, and it becomes of who do you then put around those 5 players to best suit their qualities. And I think starting in that right back position, I would still start Walker. Walker used to playing with John Stones. He knows how John Stones wants to play coming up into midfield, and he covers for John Stones quite well when John Stones will move up forward and progress the ball with Declan Rice. Obviously Trent can progress the ball on his own, so it would just cause a conflict of interest. I think Trent should still come. I think Walker and Trent should be our right backs that do go. I wouldn't take Trippier, no, I wouldn't take James. James gets injured too much. Trippier is too much of a liability in terms of his defensive stuff, like Trent is, but Trent provides so much more on the attack that it's worth just taking him. Obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka would be an option, but it's not worth it for the one game that I'd start him, and that's against France. So yeah, Kyle Walker, John Stones. Coming into the centre backs, I think Levi Colwill should be the one that partners John Stones for this tournament. I'm not gonna lie, I've liked Colwill every time I've seen him really, and he's good on that left side. John Stones on the right side. It suits people. Put Maguire there because of experience, but Maguire still makes mistakes. People go, oh, Maguire will still make mistakes. I saw it this weekend against Fulham. He made mistakes, and it cost us the game eventually. So yeah, I'd put Colwill. He's put in real strong performances recently. So yeah, John Stones and Colwill. And who's backing him? You might say Maguire could still get in there. I think Guerhi has a really good shout, and I think Branthwaite is your other shout really. Anyone else, I wouldn't really give a shout to anyone else that I can really think of off the top of my head straight away. I think they're your 3 that you're looking at. Tomorrow might get a shout, but I don't know. I feel like Stones and Colwill, and you can back it with a Guerhi, a Branthwaite, or a Maguire, and you bring 2 of them, and you'll be sorted for your defence. Left back is a really tough one. I would personally want Luke Shaw to be playing there. I think Luke Shaw is our best left back. I think if he's fit, he should be on that team sheet 100%. And he plays really well. He attacks well, he defends well, he does everything well apart in the game. And then for your backup left back, people might say Chilwell. I think Chilwell is a good option, but I'd like to see Alfie Dougherty go. I really like to see him go. I think he's having a really good year for Luton. He's similar to Luke Shaw, and he's young as well. He's 24, and I think he deserves a shout the way he's playing this season. So yeah, I'd put Alfie Dougherty in there, and that's my defence sorted. That's my defence fixed. Obviously after this, I'm gonna have 3 players back, so I'm just gonna go through the positions. I have not started my defence because I realised I've not started my goalkeeper. Who I've said Pickford, yeah, but I think Johnson will be back up from Palace. I think that's an obvious. He's one that's getting enough game time. He's the only other England keeper that's getting enough game time and playing well enough. I wouldn't take Trafford. There's too many mistakes in him at this high level right now. So the backup, I would either put Steele. He's getting plenty of game time at a very good team right now. Kaminski is getting a lot of good game time at a decent Premier League team, making a lot of saves. Has potential to be put on that plane to Germany this summer. And Ramsdale, who's not playing as many games, but he's had the England experience. He knows what it's like in the dressing room. He knows what it's like to play for England. That's your other potential of that. But yeah, that's an argument to be made itself. Steele, Ramsdale, Kaminski. I think I'd take Kaminski. I think Kaminski. They're not going to play this third choice goalkeeper. They're not. They only have Steele is good on the ball, but I know he has a mistake in him. Kaminski's played well. I'd probably put Kaminski on the plane. But yeah, Rice can come into the team, definitely. Other midfield options, in terms of your holding / ball progressing midfielders, I think Gallagher should definitely come. I think he's had a good season for Chelsea. A lot of people saying, oh, he shouldn't be playing for Chelsea, but the thing is, he is, because he is good enough to be playing for Chelsea. He progresses the ball quite well, and he also defends really well as well. He had a really good game against City where he's just all over. His stamina is his best quality, and That's what needed. When you get into late into games, you want someone with a lot of stamina who's just going to chase the ball down and do that dirty grunt work. Gallagher can be that guy alongside your Bellingham in the attack. Like, I think Gallagher's the perfect one to be put alongside Rice and Bellingham. People say Mainu, yeah, I think Mainu would be a really good option to have in the team. But I think Gallagher would be the best to have in that shuttle role, shall we call it. But he can also, if Rice gets injured, fill in that defensive aspect too. He's well adept to it. And then, so I did say we'll bring Mainu, and another midfielder I do think we should bring would be Jacob Ramsey. I think Jacob Ramsey would shut the ball very well. He attacks very well. He gets the ball out of the pitch very well, and he just makes the right bits of movement in between the lines that I feel like could really help us affect games later in the tournament. So yeah, Jacob Ramsey, Gallagher, and Mainu being your shuttlers, Rice being your main holder, and then as your creative midfielders, obviously Jude Bellingham. He'd be perfect in the role. We know he's perfect in the role, alongside James Maddison. You know, as his backup would be nice. Obviously, Foden coming on that left wing. As I said, Foden on the left wing is for sure playing there. Saka on the right wing, having a great season as he does, and he's very confident in why he's England Player of the Year for the last 2 years. Obviously, Saka's going to be in that team. And it's just about who backs up that front three of Saka, Kane, Foden. Who are the backups? So if one of them gets injured, if somebody needs to fill in there, obviously Maddison can play out wide, but I wouldn't want to see it. Jacob Ramsey can play out wide as well, which I do respect. I do like Ramsey out wide. He does offer something different. But on the right, I go with Sterling. I would go with Sterling. He's got the Premier League experience, the England experience, and he's not playing bad right now. And on the left, I wouldn't take Rashford. I'd take Gordon. I would take Gordon. He's had a really good year for Newcastle, and I think he deserves to go, if I'm going to be really honest. And then behind Kane should be Watkins. Some might argue Tony, but I feel like Tony's going to get pushed out just because of the betting stuff that he won't get a place in England anymore. So yeah, Watkins is going to be that guy behind Kane. And obviously that's going to leave a few players at home. Oh well, as I said, there's 26 people going this summer, so you can get 3 more options in there. And you can basically choose between these options. There's quite a few out there, so obviously Rashford is one of them. Maguire can be one of them. There's a few United players in there that could be an option to go. Eze, who I think it'd be so unlucky to miss out on this team, but look at the players that I've named. Where's Eze getting in here? Eze might get in on that right side, yeah. I mean, we could even try and call Elise up and be like, come on man, I know you play for France or you're under 21s and stuff like that, but come on, play for England. It'd be nice. I think Ghana would be really underrated. I think Ghana has played a really good season for Everton right now, and as a holding midfielder could add something different to the game for us and be a good backup for Rice. Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones as well, both playing really good, really well for Liverpool right now. Same as Kwanzaa could probably get in there. McAtee from Sheffield, and then finally Lewis Myler from Newcastle. I know he gets hyped up a lot by that Lewis from, is it Pitchside? But Lewis Miley would easily get into the England setup with a 26-man squad. It's just choose out of them options there for them final 3. I think with them final 3, you go Eze, Rashford because he's got the experience. So Eze and Rashford, and then I like Harvey Elliott. I do like Harvey Elliott. He can play out wide. He can play in that middle role. He can play as a shuttler. I think he adds probably the best qualities to the England squad if to bring him. But that'd be our 26-man squad that we do bring. Southgate, watch my video and listen to me, please, because you know you line up that starting 11 that I named, and we win the Euros. It doesn't matter who's managing. That team is just unbeatable on paper. But as I said at the start of the video, the game's played on grass. But hopefully it comes home this summer. Fingers crossed. I will end the video here, guys. It's been a big talk, a lot talk. Let me know who you think will be going into the Euros with this England team, because I'm interested in discussing. That's what this series is about. It's about discussing football. That's what I like to do. But yeah, if you like the video, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and let's chat in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.